USC's push for the college football playoffs ends with special teams breakdowns. We'll detail what makes the Rams favorites on Sunday Night Football, and right in time for the holidays, the point god calls it quits. Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos morning report. It is November 23rd, 2025. I am exhausted from working overnight, but it's still Sunday, the Lord's Day. So if you believe, take a moment. Thank Him for the blessings in life, like LA sports. If you like being in the know about LA, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop an update. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. By all means, comment. We have an expanded look at the scoreboard today because it's football season. And it's kind of an ugly day, to be honest with you. Starting off with 7th-ranked Oregon 42, 15th-ranked USC 27. The Trojans push to slide into the college football playoff like a simp slides into an OnlyFans girl's DMs, comes to a crashing fail, and in my opinion, it's the special teams' fault. For all the work that has been put in to improve the program, to get them bigger, to lower the number of defensive breakdowns that were occurring during the Alex Grinch era of stupidity, USC special teams actually played a pivotal role in conceding at least 17 points. Yes, it's true. The Ducks ran like hell. 172 yards, 3 touchdowns. But we knew going in that the Ducks were going to run because the Trojans' defense still needs to grow. Also, Jaden Mayava, as we discussed yesterday, needed to be amazing. He was pretty damn good. He threw for 306 yards and 3 touchdowns, but 2 picks. Not amazing, okay? But it was the special teams. Oregon took the lead for good with a Malik Benson punt return that went 85 yards for a touchdown. For that matter, a Ducks missed field goal wiped off the board completely because Desmond Stevens committed an idiotic penalty. He tried to jump over the offensive line. You can't do that. That's one of the first things you learn on special teams when you're trying to be on kick defense. You can't jump over the opposing line. Oregon gets the ball back at the USC 13 and scored from there. Also, the Trojans missed a field goal. In other words, 2 touchdowns, missed field goal equals 17 points. It got so bad that when the Trojans got a touchdown in the fourth quarter, they didn't even send out their field goal kicking team to get the extra points. That's how much of a lack of faith, which was deserved, was on the USC special teams. This is not to suggest Oregon got lucky, by the way. This is to suggest when you have a weakness on your team, in USC's case, run defense, that means other facets of the roster have to be on point. They have to negate what you are going to give up in the run game, because good teams will take advantage of your mistakes. The Trojan special teams made a ton of them, and that is why their push to the college football playoffs has ended. Now, they still have an opportunity for a double-digit win season if they beat UCLA and they get a victory in a bowl. That is an upgrade that few outside of Heritage Hall saw coming. And because there's only few outside of Heritage Hall who thought this team could get double digits, zero respect for Captain Emo of the LA Times, Bill Plaschke, who demanded that Lincoln Riley be put back on the hot seat. Why? Because somebody has to overreact, right? Somebody has to just be all emotional without the benefit of any intellect. Seriously, if they ever decide to shoot a reboot of the movie Trainwreck, just put Bill Plaschke in a dress because he's got Amy Schumer level of instability. If you're a Trojans fan, let me know what you think. Washington 48, UCLA 14, and in my opinion, the Bruins flat out gave up. We do not sugarcoat things. We totally embrace reality even when it sucks. The Bruins know they're not going to a bowl. They know that this could be the worst football team ever fielded at UCLA. If the Bruins lose to UCLA next week, the season would finish at 3-9, which would match a horrific 2018 edition. Last night, the Huskies rolled out to a 34-0 lead before the Bruins made any sort of positive impression. Nico Iamaleava knocked out of another game with a blow to the head. Now, to be fair to Washington, it didn't look dirty to me. And either way, the guy was on his way to his worst game of the season. He threw for just 69 yards. And by the way, you remember how the Bruins were going to commit themselves to the run come hell or high water? Here came hell. The team rushed for 67 yards. I can't give you a single reason why this team could beat USC next week. And I'm just being honest with you guys. Not trying to hate. Clippers 137, Charlotte 116. James Harden drops 55 on Charlotte's head. That is a Clipper franchise record, by the way. Vancouver 2, LAFC 2, but the Whitecaps advanced on penalty kicks. The black and gold get eliminated from the MLS playoffs in the Western Conference semifinals. And to add abandonment to injury, manager Steve Cherundolo, he's out. He left the club to pursue peace and quiet in Germany. Make it make sense. Meanwhile, today, Tampon Bay is at the Rams at 5:30. I really like the Rams today. Beyond the fact that the Bucks are on a 2-game losing streak, beyond the fact that they have to take a transcontinental flight. I like the Rams because Tampa's defense is going to completely play into Sean McVay's hands. The Bucks have to blitz. They have to because they are missing both an inside rusher in Kalijah Kancey and an edge rusher in Hassan Reddick. As a result, they blitz more than a third of the time. We've been saying this all year. Matthew Stafford has seen it all in a lengthy career, and because of it, he knows where the blitz is likely to come from. So, what he'll wind up doing, signal for a quick hot route, drop a tight end in the hole that the blitzing defender left behind. That was the point with 13 personnel, by the way. And I do realize that Tyler Higbee is out, but you can still squeeze all the same results with double tight end formations. Remember, the Patriots in their heyday, Rob Gronkowski and the closeted double murderer? Tom Brady outfoxed blitzes with 12 personnel. The same thing I would imagine is going to happen. And oh, by the way, the Bucks allow a ton of yards after the catch. Is that not the calling card for Puka Nacua? So I'm not trying to sit there and claim that the Buccaneers suck. They're absolutely going to make a game of it. They lead their division. Baker Mayfield rediscovered his love of the game playing with the Rams. A lot of feel-good stuff there. But the question I have is, can Mayfield and Tampon Bay keep up with the Rams scoring? I don't think they can. Also today, the Lakers are at Utah at 5 o'clock. The Clippers are at Cleveland at 3. Kawhi Leonard is expected to return from an ankle injury today. He had missed the previous 10 games. And the Clippers, well, they're 2-8 without him. Now, with all that out of the way, what do you say we get to the news? And what do you say we stick with the Clippers? Because to paraphrase Friedrich Nietzsche, the point god is dead. Not exactly dead, but Chris Paul told everybody that he plans to retire at the end of the year. Paul is in the argument for anyone's Mount Rushmore of point guards. And he's a Clippers legend because he was there during the Lob City era. But he is spending the 21st year of his career at the end of the Clipper bench. I mean, what are you going to say? Look, Paul is going out with a golden parachute from Steve Ballmer. He's not contributing. But that doesn't negate the fact that the dude had a hell of a run in the NBA. The 4th overall pick in 2005, a 12-time All-Star, a 9-time All-Defensive Team player. He averaged more than 9 assists per game. Because of his ability to run an offense, he was an upgrade for every one of the 7 franchises that he played for. He was also noted for a team that he didn't play for. You might recall the Lakers swung a trade to land the guy during the twilight of Kobe Bryant's career, and the league put the kibosh on that. And then the NBA turned around and orchestrated a rather unseemly counter-proposal that Paul instead get traded to the Clippers to unite with Blake Griffin. I'm not trying to say the Clippers did anything unethical. That's not it. What I am trying to say is the dude was so good that the NBA literally micromanaged his future. Unfortunately, the mastermind behind that, former Commissioner David Stern, didn't do enough. Paul, for all of his individual achievements, he's currently 6th all-time for most games played without having earned an NBA title. So, having said that, no rings, but he's damn sure going to be a Hall of Famer. And he's going to be remembered fondly by a lot of his teammates. So there's that. Former Clipper Rodney Rogers, who played 12 years in the NBA. He was a one-time lottery pick. He died Friday at the age of 54. He was paralyzed from the shoulders down after a bicycle accident back in 2008. The belief is that the damage to his spinal cord from that wreck from decades ago played a role in his passing. For once, the Rams decided to make a long-term commitment to a linebacker. Nate Landman signed a 3-year extension. Almost $16 million of the $22 million of it will be guaranteed. The guy deserves the payday. He came to LA on just a 1-year, $1 million contract. And he's been terrific. He's not just a sure tackler. He has 91 so far this year. But he's also forced 4 fumbles. So take a moment, because it's still a shocker to see this extension. Think about all the effective linebackers that have played in Los Angeles during Sean McVay's time as coach. They would draft a linebacker super late, maybe even not draft a linebacker at all, just sign somebody off the streets, then coach the hell out of him until he became a tackling machine. But every time the linebacker would ask for a pay raise, he would be on the next Greyhound out of town. Look at the Rams right now. We went into this season thinking Omar Speights was supposed to be that guy. And it turned out to be Landman. Before Omar Speights, it was Ernest Jones. The Rams had Bobby freaking Wagner on their roster, and they let him walk. That's how little they regard linebackers. And yet, Landman gets the bag. He, along with defensive tackle Poona Ford, they had been a 1-2 solution to the rushing defensive woes in recent years. UCLA basketball leading scorer Tyler Bilodeau will miss at least a week with a sprained knee. The injury occurred during practice. He missed Thursday's game against Presbyterian. Mick Cronin said it was tough to say exactly how long Bilodeau will be out. UCLA does have a little time for the guy to recover. Big Ten play will open in December. If you are a Chargers fan, you're not going to like what I'm about to say. But again, we always deal with reality on this channel. 2 consecutive weeks, a player has been fined for a late hit on Justin Herbert. The most recent one, Jacksonville's B.J. Green, knocked Herbert out of the game when the Jags kicked the hell out of the Bolts last weekend. Green gets a fine. So I feel a bit like Ra's al Ghul standing on the ice during Batman Begins. Justin Herbert getting injured was not BJ Green's fault. It was the Chargers. Why? I know this is not comfortable. This is tough love. But the Chargers are the ones in charge of protecting their own quarterback, their franchise player. They're the ones in charge of the infrastructure, the depth, the interior offensive line, not just drafting a couple of elite tackles who wound up getting injured. If your quarterback gets knocked out, you want to hate the other guy when your quarterback gets knocked out, right? But again, I don't even know if that was a dirty hit. But even if it was a dirty hit, football is a game of bullying behavior. It's alpha time. And by the way, that's kind of a reason why we're so addicted to football. It's like, oh, we're just going to knock your guy out. You don't like it? What are you going to do about it? And Jim Harbaugh knows this. Jim Harbaugh absolutely knows this. By the way, a Jaguars teammate said he will cover Green's fine. The Chargers have to invest in protecting Justin Herbert. They knew what was going to happen when they didn't boost the interior line. It's on them. But you let me know what you think of the comments thread. Talk to me about if you were disappointed that USC didn't slide into the playoffs. For that matter, what do you see happening on Sunday Night Football? And if you enjoyed this update, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day. Thank you for watching. I'm James, and we'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Cortell case of production. Take care.